Hey, this is DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas, and you're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KZZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rick Schissler. I'm the host of the Weekly Business Hour. I want to thank you for joining us today. I think we've lined up a good show for you. Got a lot of information and hopefully ideas that you can actually use even today in your own businesses. You know, the Weekly Business Hour has become the go-to place for businesses throughout Montgomery County, as well as some in the surrounding area across the United States, and even have listeners as far away as Europe and Asia. So great place to come to learn about business information, exchange ideas, primarily between each other. So it's a great opportunity. You know, I want to start off with a question today. You're reading a lot about remote workers, right? We've been through a year, almost 2 years, of a lot of people working remotely. And I don't know if that's impacted your business, but you know, that's a major shift. And now businesses are trying to bring back people back into the office, back into the workplace. And this new variant of COVID's come along and it slowed things down. And yes, they typically talk about larger businesses, but I've seen it where it's impacted even businesses with fewer than 10 employees. They took their administrative staffs and whatnot and sent them home and let them work. And now there's this shift. Well, it's creating a new job description out there, and that's what I want to touch on just for a minute or so. Job description of hiring people into work remotely. Now, that could be a hybrid where they work in the office, then go home and work remotely and whatnot. Lots of questions about that, particularly from small businesses, about productivity, about hiring people who slack off. You know, it's a big concern for the small business owners that I talk to, small business managers. So one of the things you need to do is look at the questions that you ask when you interview people and zero in on working remotely. If there's any chance or opportunity that may happen either today or in the future, and you're going to ask somebody to work remotely, ask them questions. Start off, make it easy. Have you ever worked remotely? Have you ever worked at home? Some people will say yes, some will say no. And if they've worked at home, ask them how they discipline themselves. In other words, how did you structure your day? Talk to them about it a little bit. In other words, create a conversation instead of a pointed question. It's a great way to begin to understand what somebody's thinking and whether they do have the qualities and the characteristics to work at home. But it is something that you need to take a few minutes and put into your toolbox when you do interview people for future jobs or current ones perhaps even. So the remote worker, there's a new set of questions in the interviewing process that needs to be considered. If you've got more questions about that, drop me an email. I'm here at onebestconsult@gmail.com. That's onebestconsult@gmail.com. We're going to move now into our interview. We had a conversation recently. We were out and about in the city of Conroe, Texas, here in Montgomery County. And we went by to talk to Brandon Polk. Brandon is the owner of Over 40 Fitness and Wellness. He is a true entrepreneur. He bought an existing business, knew a lot about it, but then he's built it and now is taking it into a whole different area, expanded his offering, and it's a really great story. I think Brandon's got a lot to share with us, so I hope you'll enjoy this interview with Brandon Polk. Well, welcome everybody. We're back out on the street today. We're stopping by to see another local business person, talk about the business they have, how they got there, and what they're doing. And we've got a really exciting guest today because Brandon Polk, who's our guest, has just opened a brand new location. He was at an existing location, so there's a lot of excitement with that of moving to a new location and, like Brandon, expanding your business as well as far as what you offer. So today we're going to have a conversation with Brandon Polk. And Brandon, what exactly is the name of your business? 40 Fitness and Wellness now?
Yes, sir. It's a Plus 40 Fitness and Wellness Studio, and we're located in the brand new TransMed Center here in Conroe, Texas, off the Loop.
Off Loop 336. And what side of the Loop is that? Is that south side of the Loop?
Yes, sir. We're towards the new stuff, Grand Central, and all that new business structures going up over on that side. So
wonderful location. Well, Brandon, I always like to start off and give the person I'm having a conversation with a chance to kind of introduce themselves to our audience, kind of tell them where you came from, why you're doing what you're doing, those kind of things. So It's all on you now. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon Polk, the owner and head trainer of Plus 40 Fitness. After college, I came over here. They needed a personal training job at Plus 40 Fitness. So I did that and I fell in love with the gig, and the old owner, he left. So I was the natural person to take over. And I think this is year 5 of me owning it. And I've been there for probably 8, 9 years now. So in this business. So blessed to be here.
You know, what's interesting about your story is the fact that you got to try the business out before you bought the business. That's somewhat
Yes, sir.
unusual.
Yeah.
People are in the industry, but to actually try the business out, where it was located. Where were you located originally?
We were at the next to Conroe High School and the BBVA over there for a long time.
You were there for 5 years as the time you were an owner, and I guess they were there prior to that.
Yes, sir. They I think 10 years they probably were over there in the same spot. So we had the opportunity to come over here, and I thought it was best to jump ship and try something new and give us a better opportunity for this business to flourish.
Well, again, the idea of being able to try business out before you actually commit to buying it, that puts you in the driver's seat, right? From the get-go,
Yeah.
you knew how it worked.
Yes, sir. I first followed the model that was laid out for me and try to change up a few things, but blessed to have that opportunity to work here.
You know, that's the other thing that I think people miss. But when you buy an existing business, I know in my career, when I bought a business here and there, I always had an idea, even when I started a business from scratch, that I had my own ideas, some changes, some ways to do things that would make it a bigger, better, more profitable business. I'm assuming you went into this with the same attitude.
Yes, sir. Just some new ideas and a different approach, but just try to improve on what was the foundation of the business.
Now, I do need to back up, and for our listeners, that Plus 40 Fitness part, what is that? I have to be 40 to come over and get fit, or what does that mean?
You know, that was the original design of the business. That's who we cater to. People that don't want to go to the big gyms and are intimidated by a big gym atmosphere. So it's a private facility, and but you really don't have to be 40 to work out here. I mean, I had a 14-year-old come over here, just wanted to get stronger for the summer, and I'm 35, and I own the place. So you don't have to be 40 to be in here. It's just that's who we like to cater to.
Well, I'm glad to hear you allow those quote unquote youngsters to use your facility and train them, meaning anybody under 40 now, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's good to know. Well, you know, you just moved to a new location. What motivated you to pick up and leave from obviously a well-established location after 10 years and move over, of course, where a lot of new activity is over on Loop 336? What was the main motivator for you?
You know, I think we were pretty stagnant at the location we were with parking and people knowing where we were at. So I wanted to try this new avenue at a brand new building and a facility that was all health minded professionals, chiropractor, urgent care, pharmacy, all working together for health and wellness. And thought being the gym there would be a great opportunity for us. And that's why we jumped ship over here.
So basically, you're offering with yourself and I assume partners an entire wellness center at that location.
Yes, sir. We have like I said, urgent care, chiropractor, everything, doctor's office, everything over here.
Now, just if I can ask, or you can answer, how did you connect with all those particular offerings or those people that those businesses?
Yes, sir. So the main medical director at the building is my client, and she's been working out there with me for over 5 years. So she asked if I could jump ship to this brand new building, and I thought it was a great opportunity, so we jumped on that.
You basically caught on with somebody's idea and went with the flow, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
You've been open, what, just a few weeks? Is that correct?
Oh, we've been open a little while, ever since the pandemic. Actually, I just did a ribbon cutting because I was part of a new chamber, so they gave me that opportunity. But a year we've been over here now.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I saw the ribbon cutting, thought it was an exciting opportunity. So you've been in business for a year. Okay, so we're new location. We've been there a year. How's it worked out for you?
You know, we were starting to get the people back that we lost during the pandemic or whatever. But I feel like the numbers are going up again, so I'm starting to get worried about where the numbers are going to go, if people are going to drop out again, or whatever on that. But everyone in my facility who comes works out here has been vaccinated. I got vaccinated months ago, and I think 99% of the clients are vaccinated. So it's still safe to come here, and I encourage everyone to continue working out during these times.
So to complete this story, the background on this, you opened about a year ago, which was right in the heart of the initial COVID wave, if you will, that came over us. How did that feel? I mean, how did you react to that? That had to be very daunting.
Oh, yes, sir. It's very challenging. The most challenging thing I've ever experienced in my life, to move to a brand new facility during a pandemic, for sure. Smaller space, more rent, and to go 2 months with being shut down. The government told us we couldn't work or whatever. I mean, it was hard to come up with those numbers, and blessed that we were able to get PPPs and small business loans to keep us going. And I'm truly thankful for that to help our business continue to strive. So.
Well, I would say this, it's an old adage, but you've weathered the main storm. Of course, now I think you alluded to, we have this newer variant, Delta, and then they talk about other variants, kind of like the flu. Every year it comes in a different form or fashion. Any plans, have you formulated any plans on how to meet those challenges as they come up?
We just the gym is really safe and clean, so I wipe down all the equipment. I always have in the past, but we're just extra cautious on stuff. I let you wear a mask if you feel comfortable with it, stuff like that. But nothing really planned. We're just continuing to pray that things get better and we don't get shut down again. So.
Right. Well, obviously, it's kind of interesting. You're in a business that gets talked about a lot with the pandemic and everything, health, clubs or gyms and whatever, and you do draw a lot of attention from the government. And it's funny because you promote health, but it's a health situation that is causing all this turmoil for you.
Yes, sir. That is a little ironic, but I always felt weird about it because the shutdown was geared for the bigger gyms, that have 50, 60 people in there at one time. And I mean, I'm one-on-one appointment-based appointment. So it's really challenging that, I have 7 people tops at one time in here for classes or whatever. So it really kind of upset me. I fell in the cracks somehow, I think. So I didn't ever feel we needed to be shut down, but we complied. So
yeah, it sounds like one of those situations where there's a government one size fits all, and
yep.
Being smaller and the ability to space and all those things was kind of swept up in that.
Yes, sir.
They're probably geared towards the larger facilities, like you say, that 50, 100 people can be in one of those really large gyms at one time.
Yes, sir.
Well, share with us, if you don't mind. We're kind of winding down our first segment now, but what are your plans for the near future? What are you going to be doing you've been there a year now. What are your plans as far as the gym? Something new, different, or just keep doing what you're doing?
We continue to look to add more additional classes to the program, and the hours continue to be open more hours in the day. I'm extremely flexible, so we're adding more things all the time: new equipment, new classes, everything to try to make us the best private gym in the Conroe area.
Well, I definitely know there's a need out there. We're going to take a short break right now, Brandon, if you don't mind. So sit tight for a little bit. I want to continue this conversation because I'd like to understand how your business markets itself. And again, I know we have the pandemic, but to understand your marketing, I know you're very active in the social community. You're out there, you show up on Facebook and things like that. Maybe we can get into that, to what you see as the benefits to what you're doing. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind sitting tight with us, we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll continue to explore some of the things that basically the gym and health industry has faced that's unusual and how they're dealing with it. And here's Brandon with really a brand new business, a year old. So a lot of insight there. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Hey there, this is Kathy Sanders reminding you about a local treasure, the new Danville store located next to the Hyatt Hotel in Market Street, The Woodlands. Shopping at the new Danville store, you will find quality, locally produced items for those hard to buy for friends, co-workers, and family members, while supporting a great cause. Shop local, shop for a cause, shop the new Danville store at Market Street or online.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've been having I think, a very fruitful conversation today with Brandon Polk. He's the owner of Plus 40 Fitness and Wellness. It's a local gym and health center. Interesting concept, partnered with a urgent care facility, a pharmacy, all in the same location. So if you want to do an overview of your health, you can, or if you just want to work out or be part of a class, it's a small gym, offers a lot of special care, one-on-one available with trainers such as Brandon, and a lot of opportunity to space out. This is not one of those jam-packed gym facilities where you have to go in and look good in order to do well. So, Brandon, when we went to break, I mentioned marketing. I mean, we know the last year you've been open, that the pandemic has obviously influenced your business like many in a different way. But as of right now and over the next 6 to 12 months, how do you plan to market your business, grow your customer count, your revenue?
Well, I'm pretty active on the social media part of it. I believe in that a lot. Most people, I would say Instagram or Twitter or something is the main source of social media advertising, but my demographic seems like Facebook. So that's where I really tend to drive in my advertising on that. So just a lot of media campaigning on the Facebook would be good. I go to different health events, and promote myself as well, and try to get out there in the community best I can.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed on Facebook. You pop up in some groups like I Love Conroe, where you post or part of things. And that is part of your marketing plan, isn't it? To be a contributor and go to those events that show up.
Oh, yes, sir. Those are great groups to be a part of, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback and some clients out of that. So I will continue. I don't know if it's annoying. I don't ever want to be annoying, but I just try to get out there as much as I can. So trying to take a day off every now and then to do it, but just trying to get out there.
Well, if nothing else, my observation is you look like you're always having fun when you're in a photograph or something. So
yes, sir.
There's fun events, right? Which is great.
Yes, sir.
Great. Anything else marketing wise do you do? Any kind of other marketing or advertising?
I tried a couple of the Impact Magazine or other hard stuff that's out there paper wise, and I feel like it just doesn't connect as much as the social media does. So for my group, that's where I plan on staying, not doing that way.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. Now, if someone comes to your facility, they're interested in possibly joining or taking a class, what should they expect? I mean, I show up, I'm interested in seeing what you have. I've seen some pictures of your facility, obviously the weights and the and whatnot, but what should I expect if I decide to possibly use your business?
Oh, so you should expect a clean, safe, private environment. What makes it different? You can work out in what you're wearing right now, Richard. It's not, you don't need to be in gym clothes to do the workout. It's pretty cool in here, 70 degrees. If you get too hot, I got the fans going, but really lack of sweat. It's no sweat workout type deal, as people tell me all the time. And then they start to sweat, then they go, that's false advertising, Brandon, or whatever. But I mean, I'll turn on the fan for you, no problem. But I do offer other things, Peloton, the mirror, and some classes, and that's where you sweat, and that's where you do it. But it's a comfortable 70 degrees in here probably, so that's what we, that's what you can expect.
If I heard you correct, is you offer a no sweat workout. That is a really interesting byline or tagline for a business.
Yeah, maybe I should tag. Yeah, maybe I should do that more. But yeah, a lot of my clients they'll do it, and then they'll say I'm sweating, false advertising. So yeah, I should tag that. You're right.
Well, you can always say try our no sweat workout, right?
There you go. There you go.
I like that as a tagline. That's very interesting. Well, one of the things I think that's challenging for small businesses today, you mentioned earlier that you were able to take advantage of the Small Business Administration PPP loans and whatnot. I've had so many guests over the last year that were able to benefit from those programs, and most of them, like you, say, hey, that really made a huge difference in our ability to continue as a business. But going forward, what do you see as the most important either process or challenge for your business out there? I mean, obviously, if you're shut down, that's obviously was a huge, would be for anybody. But going forward over, say, the next 12 months, what do you see as the main challenge for you growing and operating your business?
You know what, Richard, every month we just try to get as many new clients as we can get out there. So that's very important, and try to maintain the clients that we had. So just getting new clients and keeping the same ones, not losing any and stuff like that, and building the roster back up to where it was prior to the 2020 pandemic. That's what the main focus will be.
Are you finding people are opening their minds, though, to going back to getting physically healthy?
Absolutely. They are starting to come back, but now just in the last week, I'm noticing all my friends are sick. So I don't know if I want to come in just because people around them are sick. So, I mean, it's really scary to think about that, but I remain positive, and I think we'll get back to where we were. 2019 was a great year, and that's where I plan on taking it back to. Right.
It's really interesting because I think certain industries have still found that their customer base, but prospective customer base, is still holding back for various reasons. I mean, they're not, spending the money, they're not the focus. I think a lot of it has to do with the focus. In other words, what's my focus as an individual? What do I care about right now?
Right. And
if I don't care about working out, even though I personally love to work out, then it's going to be difficult, right?
Right. And with my demographics, my typical clients are in their 60s and 70s, and that's an older demographic. So they're been really wary about coming back. So that's where that's another problem right there. So I'm just glad for the ones that are coming. So yes,
well, what do you tell somebody that's 70 years old, for example, who's worked out, is healthy as far as, physical health? What do you tell them as far as, yes, you've been at home for a year, you haven't been working out consistently?
I mean, I tell them it's time to,
that's your message.
I tell them it's time to get out there and be less sedentary. I mean, it's time to get out of your house and come work out in an environment that's clean and safe. I mean, there's no need to be afraid. Just come work out, and it'll be good not only for your body but your mental capacity as well. So,
yeah, you've got a real challenge there, I would say, and that is your challenge, I guess, primarily.
Yes, sir. That's the number one thing. This pandemic's really caused some issues, but I remain positive, and I feel like we'll get back to where we were.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, you moved to a new location about a year ago. If you were giving one piece of advice to someone who's thinking about, relocating their business. In other words, get a better location like you did. What is and based on your experience, what was the one thing that you would advise them to be aware of?
Just make look where you're putting the new location. Uh, Other businesses around you, and surround yourself with a good location where people are going to be at in a new upcoming area where you can all thrive. Yeah,
I have
that's
to
what I would
ask
say.
you because anytime somebody moves, I've always gotten this feedback, or a lot of times I get this feedback, is that build out of the space, getting the space ready to move into has always been a real challenge. Was that a challenge for you in your business?
Oh, the build out, yes, sir. We did an incredible job here. I'm glad I didn't have to. I was lucky enough to not put forth any of the money to do that. Just
Oh,
to be
wow.
in a longer contract or whatever to be in here. I'm going to be here for a while, so but we're blessed to be here, and they did a beautiful job building us out. And
It sounds like you had a great experience. I'm going to put that in the positive column. I've talked to people, it's taken them over a year just to get a space built out and delayed the opening of their new location, new business. So you've had a great experience.
yes, sir. We did it all during. I mean, like I said, we had the pandemic hit, and then we're out for a couple months, but blessed to be here.
Well, Brandon, I know that you have got a special event coming up shortly, and I wanted you to take time to share it, particularly with our live listeners who will be listening to our conversation live shortly. Please share your event. You've got something special coming up?
Oh, yes, sir. So August is Overdose Awareness Month for people that have overdosed. Last year we had 4,000 people in the state of Texas overdose on opiates or drugs and all that stuff. So we're going to have a walkathon at our Transmed Center, 2510 South Loop 336 West on Saturday, August 28th at 8 a.m. And all different vendors in there. We're going to do a walk, get 4,000 steps in. It's great for everyone's health. Get outside. It's going to be a beautiful day, and would love for everyone to come out to that.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think it's a great time for us all to start to get back to exercising based on our ability, at least mentally, to deal with the challenges, because no doubt there are challenges out there for us health-wise that we all have to come to grips with individually. Well, Brandon, again, thank you for taking time to share your background, your information, your business with us today. I definitely enjoyed this conversation. And if people want to find out more about you or the business there, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they can go to our website at plus-40-fitness.com or any of the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, it's plus40 fitness, and that will pop up. And just reach out, or 936-827-2258. And I'll either text me, call me, and I'm super flexible. We'll get you in here. Everyone deserves a workout, and get you a trainer that cares.
Well, they get a chance to try it out, right? And see if
Yes, sir.
it really works for them. Well, again, thank you. I wish you and your business much success in the coming year, and along with all the other small businesses in Montgomery County and around. Hopefully we'll get all through this and things will return to what I call the new normal, which is yet to be determined. But it'll
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back with you with the third segment of today's program shortly. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Brandon Polk. Like I said, he has a lot of great ideas. He's pushing the idea of health and fitness out into other areas. And he told me offline that he's even looking at opening a juice bar to kind of even hit a wider stroke with the marketing in his business. So pretty cool guy, and a guy that's entrepreneurial in spirit. Again, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Brandon Polk, owner of Over Fitness and Wellness. Well, what's coming up the second half of our show? We've got a couple mailbag items. I had several come in this week, so it was kind of hard to choose. But one of them had to do with sales. As owners of businesses, we may or may not be really good salespeople, but a lot of times we need to sell, either because we don't have a sales force or we do, but we have certain customers. I've got some ideas. This individual asked for some quick tips that might increase or improve their sales. And the second one was questions about learning more about their customers. They know their customers, but they're not really sure what does that customer want. And they're trying to strengthen their marketing and understanding so they can, of course, increase the revenue. And then we'll end with our tip of the week entitled 3 Simple Ideas That Will Make You More Money. So I encourage you, stick around when we come back from the break and we'll go right to the mailbag.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dan Simon, Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Vell Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, began in 2014 with a mission to strengthen the future of veterans through leadership and entrepreneurship training. We've invested over 1,400 hours of training in our veterans while connecting them with community entrepreneurs and leaders. Our mission is to continue investing in our veterans who have given so much for our country. Please join us in our mission by visiting vellinstitute.org. That's VELinstitute.org.
Welcome back. This is Rick Schissler, and you're listening to the Weekly Business Hour. And again, I encourage you, if you're a follower or a listener of our show, that you drop us an email. You can ask me a question about the show, make a comment, or even a question about your business. I love to get those, and that's where we're going to go next, is into the mailbag, where people have asked questions about their own businesses, issues and challenges that they face. So it's very important. Before we move on, though, I want to bring up something that Brandon pointed out that I think is really important and something that can have an immediate impact on pretty much any business out there. Brandon has invested a lot of time in networking in the community. Now, not necessarily your typical networking, which is a good thing, but he shows up on Facebook and other places on a regular basis. He gets out and is visible in the community. He has connected himself with organizations such as I Love Conroe, because that's his target market, Conroe, Texas, right, with about 100,000 people in the general area. And he's involved. He's out there visiting with other small business people, recommending places to go and so on and so forth. He's out there networking with the community. And I think it's a good thing for a lot of particularly local businesses to do. If your clientele is primarily local, then find ways to network with your community. And again, I think Brandon appears to be doing a really great job. I'm going to tell you, he pops up everywhere on social media and keeps himself moving around. I guess he's fit, right? Over 40 fitness gets you in good shape. There's no doubt about it. But congratulations to Brandon, expansion of his business and other things. I think it's paying off. Network with your community. We'll go into the mailbag shortly, but again, before we do that, I've encouraged you to send emails. Be willing to share your challenges, right, that you're having in your business and information, because basically we're a community of small business people, primarily small business owners. So again, if no other reason, share what you've got on your mind, share what's challenging you. Within that in mind, I'm going to go into the mailbag, and we're going to talk about a couple ideas, questions, challenges that came up recently. The first one was regarding sales. This question was sent in, and I'm going to read the question verbatim as I got it. It came from Thomas. His question: as an owner, I have a lot of different responsibilities day to day, week to week, and I also need to be able to sell. It's a very common position to be in. It is really hard for me to find the time and the process, my sales process just seems to drag out too long. Honestly, selling is not my real gift, and I struggle to make it happen. What can I do to improve my salesmanship, Well, Thomas, I think there's several things you can do. In fact, there's probably books you could read that have lists and lists and lists. But three things always stick out to me, particularly when it comes to the owner of the business. If your background is not in sales, now there's a large number of small business owners who do have a background in sales, but if your background is not in sales, then I think these three things can really help you. First of all, make sure you have the discipline, right? In other words, have a calendar, have an action calendar, have a place that you have. It could be a CRM. So each time you talk to someone, each time you send them something, each time you record it, and you have a process at day 5, day 10, day 20. Make sure you have a process, because if nothing else, your mind is on everything you're doing to run your business. You've got things to do, you've probably got lists, you've got all kinds of action taking place that you have to respond to. So sales kind of drifts, and that's what I think Thomas was saying. He gets caught up in everything, so it's really, really critical, in my opinion, to use what I call, quote unquote, a sales calendar, to make sure you have regular follow-up with your prospective customers, your existing customers. Map it out, if you will, and then put that on your calendar, and make sure you set aside some time, possible the same time every day, to reach that phone, to set up a lunch, whatever it is that you do to develop a sales prospect. Make sure you follow through on it. The other thing is, always remember the values you bring to the world, the values that your company brings to the world. I think that's a kind of a look in the mirror thing, reminding oneself, hey, I have a value. Well, my company has values. And it's very important that the value of your company, your mission, whatever you want to call it, is reflected in your sales process and sales presentation. Make sure you're conveying that message, that singular message, in your sales. In other words, this is why you should do business with us. Make sure you stay on message. I'm sure you probably heard that expression in some form or fashion. So, second thing is, make sure people know the values that you're bringing to the table, and you consistently and constantly talk about it. And the third is, I believe a lot of selling, and again, this is someone who was not an exceptional salesperson, but a lot of it's about caring. If you can convey to the other person you really care about them and their business, and you're trying to sell them something, a product, service, whatever, and they feel like you're caring, that you do really care first and foremost about that relationship, right? Then you have a much higher chance of closing that piece of business. So be sure the sincerity, the caring, and your solution-oriented ideas and attitude show up each time you make a contact with a sales prospect or an existing customer. So those are three things that I think that Thomas and everybody can go back and think about and make sure they're doing. Make sure you're putting into action in an organized way through a sales calendar, the sales you are pursuing. 2, make sure that you sell and convey the values that your business brings to the table. And 3, make sure that people know you really care about them, care about their business, that it is really important. That alone will carry, in my opinion, a number of prospects to the goal line, and you're able to close the sale. And last but not least, be willing to walk away. Don't get bogged down with a prospective piece of business that is just sucking the lifeblood out of you, if nothing else. Don't get bogged down. Move on. If something is just not going to work, or an existing customer, I always say that, be prepared to move on. Well, Thomas, I hope I answered your questions. We've got another mailbag item I want to touch on briefly. This came in from William. His question was, I really don't understand my market or customer, even though I take every opportunity to talk to customers when I see them. What can I do to make my contact with the customer more productive in the area of understanding what they're really looking for? Well, I think there's several things that jump out when I think about that, and I want to offer those to you. First, what made you decide to hire or do business with us? Ask that question in some form or fashion. Why, in the first place, did they decide to do business? Why did they call your plumbing company and not someone else? Be sure you know why people are using your business. You'd be surprised when you go out and you talk to 10, 20 or more people, and ask a question like that, the kind of answers you're going to get. And that can help you refocus your marketing to convey those messages, to convey that idea, convey those values, right? Like we were talking about previously. So ask the question, why did they start doing business with you? Secondly, what's one thing we do better than others that you do business with? In other words, okay, you're doing business with us. What is it that you really, really like about us? And try to narrow that down to one or two things. So it's very specific. What is it that we're doing right? You want to put that into your marketing message as well, into action with your marketing plan. And last but not least, what's one thing we could do to create a better experience? What can we do better? Well, that's a classic question, but a lot of times it's hard to get an honest answer on that one. But you really want to know what it is that you could do better, because then you can translate that and put it into your marketing plan and start to advertise that, and it really will help and boost your potential sales. So those are three things, William, and I hope they're helpful to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another commercial break, our final break of the day, and I hope you'll stick around and hear about our tip of the week. Our tip of the week this week is 3 simple ideas that will make you more money. It's a fun thing. I hope you'll stick around and hear that. And again, the show this week will be available, recorded on video and audio, available to you in a few days. So if you didn't catch everything, or you know someone you want to share some of the ideas with, simply wait till Wednesday. Go to social media, YouTube, Facebook, look up the Weekly Business Hour page, and you'll have all the information you need. So thank you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
God's Garage is a 501c3 that repairs and gives away cars for free to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. You can help God's Garage by donating a vehicle, volunteering your time, or by monetary donation. God's Garage is located at 2106 East Davis, Conroe. If you'd like to learn more about God's Garage, visit our website at godsgarage.org. Or you can contact us and we would be glad to come and make a presentation to your group.
Do you want to know what's going on in Conroe? Tune in to Keeping Up with Conroe. Keeping Up with Conroe will highlight upcoming events and local businesses in the area. Keeping Up with Conroe will air the second Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. and will be hosted by the Conroe CVB staff. Keeping Up with Conroe will highlight Conroe's amazing attractions for residents and visitors. So tune in to Keeping Up with Conroe and join the staff of the Conroe CVB every month on Lone Star Community Radio. For more information about Keeping Up with Conroe and the Conroe CVB, go to visitconroe.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rick Schissler, host of the Weekly Business Hour. I hope we've offered you some good information, some ideas this week, and hopefully some of those ideas, as I mentioned earlier, are things that you can turn around and put into place in your business today, tomorrow, or next week at the latest. We're going to get to our tip of the week shortly, but I want to mention something to you. You know, the studios that we are broadcast from, that we produce our show, Lone Star Community Radio, it's the community radio station for Montgomery County, Texas, is moving into new studios next month. And I hope you will note that, because if you go to their website, which is irlonestar.com, irlonestar.com, you'll have an opportunity to participate several ways. It's a nonprofit, so if you want to make a donation, always appreciate it. Perhaps a better way, though, if you have a business in the area, is to sponsor some programming like the Weekly Business Hour. So you become a sponsor, you sponsor the program, and get your message out to our small business community. So I encourage you to do that. Lone Star Community Radio, just simply go to irlonestar.com and become a supporter or a sponsor of the Weekly Business Hour. Well, the tip of the week, 3 simple ideas that will make you more money. I wanted to keep it light, and I saw that, but there are 3 things that stick out to me right now, particularly that businesses, particularly smaller businesses, but even really big businesses, could do differently maybe that could really help their business, the revenue and their bottom line as well. And the first one is, be sure that you find the niche where your business really excels. In other words, where you find that gold you're looking for, those customers that are going to pay a reasonable, fair price for what you have to offer, those customers that bring in profitability. Okay? You need to stay on target, particularly now as businesses start to build back from the recent pandemic, which is actually an ongoing event. But you need to make sure you're addressing the niche where you fit. You know, people like Brandon Polk, who was our guest earlier today, he's widened his niche. He was a fitness workout studio where you had a workout coach, right, a trainer, and then he widened it and partnered with other businesses related, the medical, the pharmaceutical, in one facility. And now he's moving out to a health or a juice bar. He's widening his niche, which is cool. That's great. He's really still in his own backyard promoting health. But I think it's so critical and so important, in fact, all the time. Learn what your niche is. If you don't know what it is, take a look at where your sales are and figure out where the real business that you want, that you need to maximize your profitability, to be on that revenue path that you're seeking to be on. So go into that niche and figure it out. And then you can innovate like Brandon has done within that niche and expand your offering and hopefully expand your customer base. And secondly, this is personal and to some extent business, but stick to one major goal at a time. In other words, set a goal in front of yourself, for an example, or for your business, and really focus on it. Build an action plan. Keep your focus, your business, your employees. Try to get your vendors on that page as well. And then hopefully you've done your marketing homework and your customers will follow you towards that goal as well. So many times I see people that have, well, I got multiple things I want to do by the end of the year, and I've got this, and I'm talking about major goals. I'm not talking about taking care of business. I'm talking about goals to build a new building, talking about goals as far as taking on another product line that fits into our niche. Those are major undertakings. And what I'm saying is they require focus. They require energy. Don't go off half-cocked, as they used to say in the cowboy days, or half-baked ideas that never get finished. Right now, very important. Okay? Stick with one goal at a time, and when you've reached it, be prepared to move immediately to the next goal. That's how you build a business, step by step by step. That's my experience on how you build a business successfully. So I encourage you to consider that. And the third thing I think is important is feedback. I find so many people on a personal level, on a business level, are afraid of feedback. They don't want to hear what people are thinking. You know, I made a comment earlier about going out and trying to understand. One of the questions we had that came into the mailbag, to understand the customer better so they could better tailor their marketing, their product service offerings. To me, that all just makes good old common sense. But a lot of folks just, for some reason, just have a fear of hearing back from the customer. Because I actually had a mentor one time, and there was a saying that he talked about, well, you don't want to hear from your customer because most of the time it's going to be bad news. In other words, don't open that door. Don't take the box lid off Pandora's box because you don't know what's going to come out. I don't think the world works that way anymore. Not at all. There's just too much information, too many points of contact, too much opportunity for people to know about you and know about your business. So I think it's extremely important to set up the processes to get the mindset for yourself and your employees that you want feedback. Even with vendors, you want their feedback about what they're doing for you. Is there something you're not doing as well as you could maximize the relationship even with vendors? Need to have a feedback process in place and encourage and train people that work for you at any level to look for feedback. And when they get feedback, report it. Have a place to collect it so you can analyze it. It's not that one complaint that you're looking for, nor is it that one compliment. You're looking for an ongoing, day in, day out feedback, particularly from your customers, because that's how you build a better mousetrap, if you will, is hearing what people are experiencing. how they perceive what you're doing. You just don't go into the room and shut the door and figure it all out yourself. You need that feedback, and it needs to be constant and very consistent if you want to maximize the growth of your business as far as your products. You want it to be right. You're constantly striving for that. You got to start with feedback. It is the fuel. It is the fuel that makes the rocket take off. If you're not getting that fuel, then you're going to starve your engine, and it isn't going to take you anywhere. So I encourage you, set up a feedback process and be sure all the people who work for you are geared into that process. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I, as always, deeply appreciate you taking time to listen to our show, watch our show. I hope, again, that you found ideas, that you found encouragement. And again, we appreciate the email. Send an email to onebestconsult@gmail.com. It comes directly to me. I may answer the email. We may pull it out of the mailbag, use it on the show. You may have a comment about the show. You'll still get a response from me. It's one of the favorite things I personally do every week. So absolutely drop that email to us. Sponsorships are available through the station, irlonestar.com. Love to have your business as a sponsor of the Weekly Business Hour. All you got to do is send an email. You can send it to me at onebestconsult@gmail.com. I'll send some basic information back. It's very painless. We'll get a commercial made up for you that can play on the show or on the station itself 24/7. Lots of opportunities, and we encourage you to do it. Again, thank you. And it's so important to me that if nothing else, you walk away with a message and an attitude that this coming week, focus on what is important in your business, what's important to you, not necessarily the rest of the world. Because if you do that, I think you'll achieve some level of success. And if you can figure out how to put it all together, you'll be extremely successful. Please let us hear from you. And until next week, much success.